What I'm about to show you will be an absolute game changer if you apply it correctly. Let's go. You will be surprised when I reveal what the question is, but I will just tell you that 90% of games or more at the beginner/intermediate level are lost because this question does not get applied properly, or not every single move. So you may apply this to a certain level already, but as soon as you forget one move to ask yourself this question, you may lose the entire game. The question is, if I do this, what will my opponent do? So this is a very simple way to blunder check a move before it actually happens. So if you're thinking about the move f takes g6, with this simple blunder checking question, you will see that that's a blunder because we hang our queen. Now, your reaction when you hear that that's the most important question in chess is going to be one of two things depending on your chess level. So either number one, you are a beginner player or just starting out in your chess improvement, and you want to learn more about this. This sounds interesting. I'm going to explain it in just a second, but I would like to first address group number two, who are intermediate or advanced players, and they're basically by now have already said out loud, oh, I'm already doing this. A part of them has already clicked off this video. But I want to tell you that no, you're not doing this as it's supposed to be done. This is supposed to be done every single move without fail. I'm sure many of you have had the situation of, oh, I'm doing this, I'm blunder checking constantly, I'm making sure my moves are good, and then one move happens where you just lose focus or play by intuition or get excited, and there goes the entire game. If you are group number two, the best advice I have for you is to simply keep practicing this. It's going to take a long time. It's going to be very annoying to just remind yourself, oh, I have to ask that. I have to ask this. But once it becomes second nature, once you fully internalize it, once it becomes automatic, at that point you can focus on other things in your chess improvement, and you will no longer make these silly blunders that take away from your beautiful games. Now, for our beginner players, let's talk about how this is actually done. How do you blunder check a move before you actually play it? I know many of you watching are under 1,000, and this is one of the key questions to learn about first. And when you implement this correctly, you will skyrocket 1,000 and above. So let's see how it's actually done. So let's say you were in this position and you have all sorts of nice ideas, and you have a bit of an attack brewing over here. So you're looking to go pawn takes pawn in order to open up your rook to work together with your bishop on this weak f7 square. So this is our idea. That's how we came to this move. But before we do it, a lot of players would just get excited and instantly play it. And then as soon as their eyes see this position, they're like, oh man, I hung a queen. But now it's too late. You have already played the move. That's why we do this whole visualization ahead of time and everything. So if you're playing online, you can make an arrow to make it easier for yourself. If you're playing over the board, you cannot do that, of course. And you have to, after this, imagine what that would look like if it were played, and look at black's aggressive choices. Look at your opponent's aggressive moves. So we're trying to visualize this, but we can't actually see it. So after this, you're looking at their aggressive choices. Their aggressive choices are the active moves of the pieces that are in the fight. In other words, the pieces that are currently possibly dangerous to us are the only ones we should look at. If they play against this, if they play some sort of king f8 or something, I don't care. Or if they play rook b8 or some sort of pawn move on the side. So the only thing that should go into your active thought process is a way to punish this move. That's the whole purpose of doing this. We're looking for if our move is a blunder. So to recap, basically, if visualize what that would look like, look at their aggressive choices to see if that's a punishable move. If it is, then we just have to do something else. Like, for example, you don't have to completely abandon the idea. You could prepare an idea. Now, to prepare an idea just means to make a move which makes it work on your next move. So here, this does not work because my pawn is pinned to my queen. So if I just move my queen away somewhere, that would break this dynamic. And now, next move, let's say they play nothing, I could do this and really get my beautiful attack. So you don't have to completely abandon your idea, because a lot of players would go, oh, I can't do that. Let's do something else, like continue development or something. That's fine as well. But a lot of chess players feel much better when they make their idea work. And it's oftentimes the best thing to do. So you should know that in chess, you could do almost whatever you want. Oftentimes, it doesn't work immediately, so you just need to prepare it a little bit. That's another beautiful thing about chess, in my opinion. Whenever you have an idea, don't just discard it. Most likely it's a good idea. That's why you had it in the first place, but it just requires a little bit of preparation to make it work. So to have the knowledge that you have the freedom to do anything is just wonderful. Here's our second example. We have another position where we're in some sort of middle game, and currently we're up 2 pawns. Everything else is equal. And we have the idea of like, this knight is only protected by the other one. So theoretically, I could go pawn to b4, and after this knight moves somewhere, then I could just go queen takes knight. So pretty decent idea. If nothing, we just gain space, we remove our pawn from being attacked. So this is the move in question. And before getting excited and playing it immediately, we have to do this blunder check. If I do this, what does my opponent do? If I play b4, what will my opponent do? So visualize what that would look like if it were played, and try to find the best move for white. Now, of course, if white just follows your idea, then it will happen exactly as you imagined it, but oftentimes there's some problems with the idea. So here, if you notice, they're aggressively placed. All of their pieces are pretty much aggressively placed, so we have to take a look at all of the moves of all of their pieces. By now, you have probably already seen queen takes on c8. This is the issue. So maybe by accident, maybe they played queen h3 on the previous move, and we didn't really catch why they played it, so we just ignored it. But this is another way to catch a mistake before it happens. You blunder check your move. So you would go, oh, can I play b4? Let's take a look. Oh, my rook is hanging with check. Definitely no. So how would you go about this? You would basically say, oh, I can't do that right now. So b4 may be a good idea. I just cannot do it at this very move. So you would have to somehow fix this problem. That could be by moving your rook to one of the defended squares, or just generally moving out of the attack with the rook. Or it could be to use your queen to defend your rook, or it could be queen e6, block the attack. There's many ways to deal with this, but the main point is that you recognize it and you save yourself the game. These examples that we have seen so far may be considered relatively easy because it's just board vision. That's the main issue. It's not any sort of deep tactic or something like this. It's just board vision. So in our first example, the board vision that was difficult to see was that this bishop is attacking the queen after our move. The reason that's a little bit difficult to see for most players is because this pawn is currently here, so your eyes will deceive you. Your eyes are fighting back against your mind's visualization. In this position, this is difficult to see simply because our move is on the queen side, so we may be too focused on the queen side to see that this is happening, and this is also a very long diagonal to see. So that's why these are a little bit difficult for newer players, but something that happens frequently at higher levels is another type of mistake called the forced recapture, where high-rated players tend to assume that when something is captured, it must be recaptured at the same exact move without exception. So here, white to play, and white is up a piece, so they would like to trade, ideally, so they thought of the move rook e8. And the white player thought, oh, rook takes e8, they have to recapture, and then I just move my rook out of the attack. However, after rook takes e8, first black is going to go queen takes a1, in between move. That's what that's called. And after king g2 recaptures the rook only now, and now black is up material. They're up the exchange. Knowing that this is one of the most common type of blunders, you can actually bait your opponent into making one of these blunders. So as black, I would be very tricky and play, let's say my rook was on a8, I would play rook a e8, recognizing that this is actually a blunder, as opposed to many players who might play rook f8 to take the open file. In that case, rook e8 comes with check, and once you recapture with the a rook, then it really does turn out how white initially planned it. So you can bait your opponent into making one such mistake if you're aware that they tend to. Here's a small test position for you. Let's say you're in this middle game with the white pieces, and you had the idea of launching a kingside attack with queen h4, knight g5, queen takes h7 checkmate, something like this. So you're looking to start with queen h4. Is this a good move or a blunder? Let me know down in the comments with your best solution. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. Like on the video and subscribe to see more stuff like this, and I'll talk to you very soon. Take it easy.